Hey guys, so today we're gonna make some of mom's salsa, and it's pretty simple. You need a few ingredients: some Serrano chilies, cilantro, some whole peeled tomatoes, garlic, salt, maybe some paper towels, a strainer, and then a pot with boiling water, and then lastly a blender, and then maybe a little glass of water. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to take about 10 of these chilies, Serrano chilies, take off the stems, wash them, and then once you do that, then the next step is going to be to stick them in a pot of water and start boiling them. Now we're going to boil these until they actually start to get like a light colored green instead of the dark colored green that they are. So these usually take about 10 minutes. So while that's doing that, we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of this. So what you do is you take a bushel of cilantro and you take about maybe a quarter of that and then chop it up a little bit. Because once it gets into the blender, it's gonna be really hard to chop up in there. So it's good to chop it up a little bit here. And then once we get our serranos all done, we're gonna stick them in the blender over there, along with the whole peeled tomatoes. Now, we don't want to stick the juice, all the juice from this in there. We just want to take them out with a fork. So that's like one tomato right there. So these, I don't know how many of these have. We'll see right now when we start to put them in. And then once we start to blend it all that, then we'll put all these other ingredients in there. This is basically to strain the water from the serranos right now when we put it in the sink, so that way we don't have them in there. So what I'm going to do right now while that's doing that, we can go ahead and walk over to our blender, and then we'll see how many tomatoes are in here. One. Whoa, that's a big one. You never know how these come in here, so they're really, that's a huge one right there. That would be almost like 2. So just kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with here. And then you get small ones like that, see? 3. Sorry man, I didn't bring my other camera. Wow, that one's big. That's like 2. 5. So there was 5 complete ones in there, really probably equal to about 7, because 2 of those were really big. So we got about 7, 8, and then we just want to take a little bit of the juice from here. I don't know, maybe a teaspoon and a half. And then we're gonna put a little bit of water in there. Maybe 2 teaspoons. And all that's for is that once we start to mix all the stuff in there, it chops it up really good. So let's take a look at these. They're still boiling. I got about another minute or 2 of those. Take our cilantro over here. I'll grab that. In there. And then we'll stick our chilies in there, and then we're just gonna pulsate it. Let's see where this one's at. There it is, right down here. That one says pulse. I'm gonna tap on that about 10 to 12 times. We don't want to blend it completely because we don't want to puree this, and that's what happens with salsas. Sometimes people puree them too much. That's not good. If you look at that chili, it kind of looks, it's starting to look like almost like a marine green instead of that bright green. Kind of like that one right there. See how that one's kind of a duller color? You see this one's a little bit darker. We want them all to get that kind of that dull color to them. So once these are done, then we're just going to strain the water out of here. And then we're going to put them directly into the blender. And then this will be our next step, adding the salt and the garlic salt in there. And usually what we do with this, and I'll tell you right now as soon as we get in there, but normally we just kind of coat the top of it with the garlic salt, and then maybe about half of that for the salt. We don't want to put that much salt in there because you can always salt it after. So the towels are basically once you wash your cilantro and then just pat it down with your paper towels. Forgot that step. So these are pretty much done. So the next what we're gonna do, just be really careful here, is just strain them. And then we're going to take these over, put them inside our blender. See right now as I'm doing it, just kind of basically just coat the whole top. And just lightly sprinkle across the top as well, not as much salt. And then we're just going to go to our pulse mode. And we're going to hit it like a second at a time. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then now what we're going to do, I don't have my fork with me. We just want to check the consistency of how thick it is. We want to make sure that, wow, that's strong. It smells strong. And now, we're going to go ahead and just pulsate it maybe like 2 more times. 1, 2. And there we go. Put it in our little salsa thingamajigger. Now I usually buy the real big cans of tomato. So I can make more. So this didn't make a lot. This just basically made 2 little things just for the little party I'm having. It does need a little bit of salt. I didn't put a lot. Like I said, I don't like putting a lot on there until I try it. That's pretty good. Pretty good. It's real simple to make. And then you could just doctor it up, you know, to your tasting if you want a little bit more garlic salt in there, a little bit more salt, but it's real easy to make. It's nice and hot. You can eat it with chips, with tacos, whatever you want. Thanks for watching.